Hi, Getty from GettyStewart.com here with roasted tomato focaccia. I am telling you, this is a super tasty recipe. Great for sharing, great for using up seasonal tomatoes, and for celebrating all things that come from our Canadian farmers. Canola oil, wheat for our flour. This is going to be good. So let's get started right away with making our focaccia. Now, focaccia is an Italian flatbread that is made with yeast. So it takes a little bit for this bread to have its resting periods and rise, but that just gives us enough time to roast the tomatoes, all of which, when it comes together, my goodness, it's so delicious. So totally worth it. So focaccia is nice and soft and fluffy. And there's a couple of ingredients that we're putting in here that make it just so. So we start off with about 2.5 cups of flour, 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant raised yeast, or that's about 1 package if you're using the packages. Now here's some of those ingredients that are gonna make this delicious. Number 1, there's a teaspoon of onion powder in here. There's 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and there's a teaspoon of sugar. Now yeast loves that sugar, and that's what's going to help make this nice and soft. The other thing that's going to make this dough really nice and soft is adding some canola oil to our recipe when we add the liquid. So the yeast, the salt, the onion powder, and the sugar is all nicely mixed. Now we add in our water and make a little well in our flour. I actually like to add the canola oil to the water so all the liquid goes in at once. So 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and in it goes. Now we mix that up, and we're gonna get to the kneading stage right away. So most of the dough has come together. There's still a little bit of loose flour in the bowl, and that's when I like to start using my hands and start kneading this dough. Now I have an extra 1/4 cup of flour, and I'll add that as I knead, just so that I can manage and handle this dough. Now, whenever recipes tell you to, keep a little flour on the side and add as needed, especially in a yeast dough like this, only add as much flour as you need to be able to work the dough. The goal is not to try and incorporate all the flour into your yeast dough. It's just to help let you work that dough. And notice I added a little bit because I felt my dough was a little bit wet. Now I'm able to scrape. My bowl is pretty much clean. And now I move to the counter, and I add a little bit more flour. I want to work the gluten, so I knead it a little bit. And if it's too sticky, I'll add a little bit more flour. But notice I'm not pressing super hard. I'm just giving it a few turns and using the heel of my hand to work this dough and keeping it nice, light touch. And that will help make this super fluffy and soft. Now, every time I make this, I use a different amount of flour. Sometimes I use the whole 1/4 cup. Sometimes I just use a little bit. And that's because temperature, humidity, different variety of flour, if I bought a different package, all makes a difference. So that's why you can never be exact when it comes to a recipe like this. And you've just got to go by feel. Now I'm noticing it sticking on my heel. I'm going to add just a little bit more and keep maneuvering it. All right, I'm just finishing up with the dough here. You've noticed I've cleaned up all the little extra dough and flour that was on my countertop, and I'm feeling like that's a nice dough that I can handle and manage. Like I said, not all of the flour needs to be incorporated. I'm gonna pick up any loose bits in the bowl, and then I'm going to drizzle about 1/2 tablespoon of canola oil in my bowl and just turn the dough around in there so it's nicely coated with oil, and cover it with a towel and gonna let it rest for about 20 minutes. That's gonna give us time to get working on our roasted tomatoes. Okay, so let's prep those roasted tomatoes. I have turned the oven on to 400 degrees and started cutting these tomatoes. So I'm using a smaller sheet pan. I've greased it using some canola oil, and now I'm slicing to my tomatoes. And I wanted to show you, you could use cherry tomatoes if you have them. You can use slicing tomatoes if you have them, or paste tomatoes. And I like to cut about a 1/2 inch thick and place them on the pan. If you have skin side, put the skin side down, cut side up, and cut around the little green stems. So I like saving that last slice and then just cutting around so that there's minimum waste. And these bits and pieces I will add to my pan and continue that until the pan is full. So I wanted to show you how I manage my garlic. Now, when you're adding things to a 400 degree oven, things are gonna char and brown quickly, and browned or charred garlic does not taste good. It gets a bitter flavor. I use the whole cloves, smash it, peel it, and then tuck it into the flesh of the juicy tomatoes to protect it. So I will make, you know, slice each one in half and then tuck it into the tomatoes so it doesn't char. So I'll just pick a few tomatoes here and there. All right, and I'll finish drizzling it with oil, salt and pepper. And there we have our tomatoes ready to go in for the roasted tomato portion of this focaccia. Okay, while our tomatoes are finishing up in here, it's time to take a look at our focaccia dough. And look, it is puffed up nicely and is nice and soft and tender and pliable. And so now we just want to put it in our well-oiled 9 by 13 inch pan. Now I'm using a brownie pan. You can use a jelly pan, whatever. It should have a rim just to help contain the dough. And so I'm just pressing and squeezing it into the side, taking the shape of the pan right into the corner. So now you take your fingers and you make those dimples that focaccia is known for. And you just go all around and squeezing right to the bottom of the pan, really forming those dimples. And yes, we are getting rid of all of that nice air that we've trapped in our dough. But don't worry, this will be super, super soft. So you notice I'm kind of going willy-nilly all over, putting those dimples in. So there we have it. All our nice little dimples are in all the way to the bottom, pressing out the air, and now it needs to wait another 15 minutes. In the meantime, our tomatoes will get done. Okay, it's time for the final step, the assembly. So our dough has been nicely dimpled. It has had its second rising. It's looking fantastic, nice and fluffy, just like we wanted, but still has those dimples, perfect. Our roasted tomatoes are looking nice and roasted. Our garlic is in there, but nice and protected. So just a little bit of charring, browning, perfect for flavor, but not overdone. So next step is we are going to take these tomatoes that have cooled a little bit, and I'm going to get them off the pan and into this bowl. So I've taken those roasted tomatoes and mashed them up a little bit so they're nice and gooey. The garlic is made a little bit smaller and mushed all around. Now with our bread, the first thing we want to do is take about half a tablespoon of our canola oil and drizzle that all over. The next thing that we want to do is take our filling and just spread it out over the dough. Okay, so I have spread the roasted tomato goo all over the top of the focaccia. Now I'm going to sprinkle with a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now I prefer the dry herbs because I find that fresh basil will just char and burn and taste bitter. So I'm going to use these dry seasonings. Now, if your Italian seasoning mix has salt in it, then I would not recommend any more salt on here. If it doesn't, go ahead, do a light dusting of salt and a final lovely coating of oil just to make this super ultra rich and delicious. So there you have it. We're going to pop this in the oven and it is done. Our roasted tomato focaccia is ready and out of the oven. Just look at how beautiful that looks. You can grate a little bit of Parmesan cheese over top. Totally your preference. There we go, and let's take out a piece. Now also you can decide how many pieces you want to cut, how generous you want to be with these. So let's see what we have here. Have a look at that. So good. This is going to be fantastic as a side or as a snack, an appetizer, or maybe just for lunch. Hope you enjoy it. Give it a try. Recipe is at www.gettystewart.com.